1, 2. Hello and welcome one and all to another episode of The Kickout, the final word in pro wrestling. I am your host, the Wizard CZ, and of course we are powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. Joining me as always is my tag team partner, one half of the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Champions of the World, Never Wrong, Nick Bull. Nick, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
That's how we're doing it. If that's how we're doing this show. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm like, why not? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Great way to start the show.
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I got my hands full here. That's good. Got a little gold on the shoulder. You know what I'm talking about? But no, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Coming off another good weekend of wrestling, which we talked about a couple shows on the Card Subject to Change podcast. That's where else you can find us. But this is the Kickout. Always something to talk about in wrestling, CZ. But what do you want to talk about?
Honestly, something struck a chord with me this past weekend with NXT, and you had the debut of a still unknown faction of 4 relatively unknown guys from the Performance Center coming in and invading NXT. And I think that's a timely topic a good time to, oh boy, here we go. I think it's a good time to talk about factions making their debut, unknown factions making their debut. I'm anxious to see what these boys can do and who they are. But when we're talking about factions making their debut and people not really knowing who they are, the first one that comes to mind, and you're going to hate me for bringing this up first, is Retribution.
Okay.
Besides Mustafa Ali, the common fan had no clue who any of those people in that faction were.
Yeah, you're probably right. But that was at a different time in WWE. Outside of Mustafa Ali, we really didn't know anybody. You knew Dijak from his NXT time.
Yep.
You knew T-Bar. It was just, I think it was doomed from the get-go. I think it was a great idea. I really liked it at the time when it started, and then it went south real quick.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. I can't believe we forgot to talk about this on the Card Subject to Change about what happened at the end of the Oba Femi match. This group, who we don't know about, had also done a run-in earlier in the night and made their presence known.
Yep.
So this was their second appearance on the pay-per-view, and immediately I got Shield vibes because
I did too.
They're dressed in black. They have the bandanas over their face with like a skull design on them, kind of reminiscent of the Shield. But I don't know if they're going to be, what the Shield stood for, why the Shield was there. I don't know that yet. But it's a risky thing, I think, to have a new faction like that. But with risk comes reward, where you have a new faction with relatively unknowns in it.
Yeah.
People knew who Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose were before they were the Shield.
Right.
Okay? People knew who they were. They were established guys on NXT. I don't know these 4 guys. The only one I really know is I believe his real name is Julius. I don't know what he goes by ring name wise, but he was one of the guys featured on that Roku channel's WWE Next Gen.
I vaguely remember that. I
Yep.
watched the whole show, but other than Sexy BJ Ray, I couldn't pick a name out of a lineup.
Okay. Well, that's the guy that I recognize, but I really don't know much more than that. It's intriguing. They've been teasing it for weeks on NXT at the end of broadcasts, and I think it's cool. They're trying something new. Let's do it. And it's risky. There's not a big name assigned to this. I thought maybe, gosh, this would have been something like if Ethan Page was ahead of this group, or somebody who's on the roster already was on it. But they're gonna explain themselves, I'm sure, in due time. They took out Obafemi, so that's interesting in and of itself. I'm looking forward to it. I thought it was actually pretty cool. I know it's kind of I don't know any of these guys, but hopefully there's a reason to care. And if it goes south, it goes south. We'll see. But it's a risk to take, having a group like that where you really don't know. You got 4 relatively unknowns, and usually with that type of stuff, you have a buzz around it to one of the people that's already in the group. So it remains to
put
be
a potential spin on this.
For sure.
As of this recording, it is Sunday night. NXT will have aired by the time this airs. So I just want to preface that. We do not know yet, but there is one Ricky Starks, who they have not named him as Ricky Starks yet. They have been keeping whatever his name will be, whether he stays with that or it's something different. They've been keeping it quiet, and will, I'm sure, have revealed that yesterday as the time this airs.
Yeah,
What if he's their leader?
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Gosh, I hope it is. Man, it would make me pop. That was a big deal when he showed up out of the blue on NXT.
Yeah.
Was not a part of NXT and was not a part of Vengeance Day, but they did show his debut. They highlighted it. So,
and he signs his official NXT contract.
His contract signing coming up.
Yes.
Well, as this airs, it would have been last night. So maybe he is. Maybe he comes in, signs contract, cuts a promo as his face self. Those guys coming around, surround the ring, going to jump him and then join him like he's the leader. That'd be great. That would be cool. I don't know. This is kind of neat. This is the speculation and the magic of wrestling is, well, if this could happen, maybe. I don't think it'll happen. I think these 4 guys are on their own, trying to make a name for themselves. And I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it, though. Something else to look forward to in wrestling. It's a good thing.
Yes. It'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. And of course, we can go on forever about a topic like this, but also just a quick throwback to the Nexus and their debut and how brutal it was when they tore the ring apart. Another faction of relative unknowns, even though they had been on the first season of the game show version of NXT, but casual fans probably didn't know many of them when they made their debut on Raw. So
correct. Casual fans didn't. And I'm sure this is going to get sorted out. And by the time this is broadcast, I'm sure things maybe been answered, maybe not. But wrestling's always got room for an invasion angle, right? Right. Just it's kind of like maybe it's a trope in wrestling. Don't get me wrong, but they usually have the fans' interest. It's a way to get people interested in having 4 relative unknowns and what the story is with them and what they want to do with them. That's the real present here, and seeing how that turns out.
Absolutely.
Let us know what you think about this group on NXT. What they've done so far, what they did at Vengeance Day, what they did, on last night's show. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Hit us up on socials. He's at the Wizard CZ. I'm at Nick Bull 55. We'd love to interact. Of course, we couldn't do this without great sponsors: Lopez Pizza, Durham Remodeling, Ryan Allison Tattoo, Jared Zook, Country Financial. You can find us also on Sundays. We go live usually around 6:30 Central.
With the exception of this Sunday, we are moving our show to Monday.
That's why I brought it up, because we are going on Monday due to our guest not being able to make it on Sunday. So we will not be coming to you at our regularly scheduled time this Sunday.
No, it'll be at 7:00 on Monday. And we have a young lady who is making her start in the business. Her name is Noelle Summit. She is better known as the Marionette, and I'm excited. She's really a young kid making her way in the business, and I think this will be a new perspective that we haven't necessarily had on the show before.
Absolutely, and if she's in wrestling, I'm going to assume she's a fan of wrestling, and I can't wait to pick her brain and find out what she likes to go back and watch about wrestling, and what wrestlers have impacted her. But
for sure,
that's coming up on Monday when we do the next episode of Card Subject to Change. But this has been the Kick Out. He's the Wizard CZ. I'm never wrong, Nick Bull. This is the Kick Out, the final word in professional wrestling.
This has been a For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content, subscribe to For Frequency's Sake on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.